I want to talk about there's some new ones out, and that's bump dots. And as I say, some of the things that I can think about at home that I use the bump dots for, if I don't say something that you guys use it for, please add to it, because then that'll give everybody else other ideas that they can use the bump dots for too. So one of the things is on my microwave. One of the things is on my oven. One of the things are on my computer. And what else do I use it for? Oh, I even take it to other people's houses, like when I go stay at my son's house. I put it on their microwave, so I don't have to continually ask, which could you heat this up or whatever. So, you know, they're so easy to travel with that it's kind of nice to be able to take it with us so that we can put it on something that we need to use when we're wherever we are. And they also have some new kinds. I want to especially tell you about this one kind that I got last Wednesday here at the center, and they have a different texture. You probably none of them could see this, but it has a different texture on top. It almost feels kind of velvety, and it's flat on the package, but when you pop it out of the package, it has just a teeny bit of a raise to it, so it doesn't really bump out, but you could definitely feel. I'm going to give it to Donna so oops, she can feel it. That you can definitely feel that it's there, but it's flat, so it's you know it's not going to get knocked off by hitting the bump or something. Oh, I know another place I have it is on my heater. I have it bumped up there too. And they do have a lot of different kinds of bump dots here in the office. There's a thing from MaxiAids that they got that give different they have them from huge to we know teeny weeny, and then they also have like these velvet ones and different ones like that. Do you want to just mention, Sophia, what that sample has?
Oh yeah, let me grab it. I'm happy to describe that.
In the meantime, go ahead.
Sorry, Bevy, can I just ask, maybe we should save our questions, but those velvety ones, are they translucent or are they solid color or?
Oh, Donna says they're solid.
And the color is?
You can get different colors, because I know.
Okay, cool, thank you.
One person got red. Pat, do you remember the different colors? Pat, let's see, red
and black. And
what? Yeah.
white, green.
Orange, yellow.
Orange, yellow. Here's Sophia back.
Yeah, I'm here. We have the ones that Betty purchased. They're kind of like a foamy, really small touch dots. You can get a whole sheet of them. They also have a slightly more raised version, same size, but sticks out a little bit more from the surface. And they have additional colors for those too. They have pink and purple, different shades of green, if you care for the color. And then we also have several different shapes and sizes of the rubber bump dots. So these would be like the clear round ones that are sort of dome shaped. There's also circular ones that have a flat top as well. Some are the size of maybe a dime, and then they go smaller. And those come in clear, they come in white, they also come in black. There's a few square black raised bump dots as well. And then there are some really smooth, less rubbery, bright orange raised circular bump dots that are like neon orange, like a traffic cone. So we do have a lot of these in the office. If you want to come and feel them next time you're here, if you need more for your home. And then also if you like any that we don't have, we can also order them into the office for you. So does anyone have any questions about the sample sheet that we have or the bump dots that we carry?
What
No.
brand name is that? Is that Halo?
These would be through Maxi Aids.
Oh, but the actual product, does it have a name on it?
Let me double check. Just one second. Not sure.
I have those on my oven and it's a digital oven and convention oven, and it helps me know like where 350 is or 275. And then I also put some on my I got for Christmas a air fryer. I put the clear bump dots on my air fryer.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Anybody else want to share what they use their bump dots for? Don't everybody talk at once.
Just to answer the question, Bob, I'm not seeing a sort of sub brand name on the bump dots. It only just says Maxi Aids.
Bevy, this is
Yes.
Diane. I have a related thing that's kind of like a bump dot. Is I use I bought a foam sheet that has adhesive. It's an adhesive backed foam sheet, and that way I can cut out whatever shape I want. So on my Instant Pot, for instance, I have one that's, I cut a piece out that's shaped like a rice grain, and so that's for the rice thing on my Instant Pot. Or I have one that's in the shape of a arrow up for increasing the time, or arrow down.
Where did you get those, Diane?
On Amazon. So you just say adhesive backed foam sheet, and so they're kind of they're maybe 1/8 of an inch thick, and you can just cut them to any shape that you want. I have them in my art studio too for marking different things. And so I have, for my flowers, I cut out a flower, and then I know that these are my collage flowers. And,
So
so
if you're
it's
an
just,
artist, it works well.
yeah, so I use it a lot for my art things, but
Yeah.
they're handy in the kitchen and other things when you need to know that this arrow increases your time or decreases, or the temperature or something like that.
If I ever try to do that, I'd come back and go, what did I draw there?
Well, an arrow is, it's really more of a triangle, so it's pointing up. And,
I don't know.
but you can make it fit whatever the button size is, right? So you can make
Right.
it small or
Yeah.
large.
Right.
And not many things have buttons on them anymore, though. Most things that I have in my house are all digital.
Right.
Right. And that helps with the digital panel if it remains stagnant, if the up arrow is always in the same place, then you can put that on a panel as well.
Anybody else have anything similar or? that they
Yeah, it's
use?
Holly. Something I recently discovered, the big plastic bottles of, for example, cinnamon from Costco, that on the top it has you lift up half of it and it pours a bunch, or you get your teaspoon in there, or the other side lifts up and it shakes. Well, I thought, why do I spend so much time looking for the correct side, which one I want? And I put a bump dot on the one that's the shaker. And so it has saves me so much time. It's taken me all these decades to figure that one out. But
That's a great thing. And then you can just unscrew it and put it on the next bottle if you want to just.
yeah, who says they can't teach an old dog new tricks?
Right, that's right. That's great.
That reminds me, I put
Thank
one on
you.
my pepper to keep the salt and pepper, so I know what's what.
That's good. Anybody else?
Just
This is Bob. Two things. One, there's a brand of bump dots, and it's called Halo,
Uh-huh.
and you can get those through Maxi Aids, but they are pictorial, and when I tactilely pictorial, so like they do have the arrows up and down, and they come in clear, so you can put them on your device, and your family can look right through them, and it doesn't bother them. But if you go up to touch them,
nice.
if it's an arrow, it's got the arrow. If your microwave has like a popcorn button, there's a little piece of popcorn that feels like popcorn or a potato. And they make those for your kitchen appliances specifically. So you can order one for your dishwasher or one for your microwave. And they do come in different colors if you want to use colors instead of the clear one. So that's
Thank you.
Halo
Right.
is the brand name for that. And
That's excellent.
one
Yeah.
other sort of labeling trick, it's the back to the keep it simple. So I use a rubber band on some of
Yeah,
my
me
spice
too.
bottles just so that I can tell the difference between, is this garlic salt or garlic powder? And
Right.
so just a rubber band, and you don't have to use the bump dots. You can just, everybody's got rubber bands.
Yeah, I do that, especially, I do that sometimes for supplements, but especially in the shower, I have one rubber band for shampoo and two for conditioner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Perla. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, so I put bump dots under the buttons to push on my washer and dryer. You know, like
Uh-huh.
the start button, and then, the other important buttons.
Yeah,
So then I can just find my bump dot and move my finger up, and there's the button I have to push. Otherwise, I'm always looking for them and can't find them. So
yeah.
I have a warning though. I put I use a Mac laptop, and on my former one, I put those really flat bump dots on some of the keys, and it ended up destroying the glass. It pressed on a glass, and
Oh,
was not good for my machine. So just letting people know.
yeah, I think you have to use the little tiny ones.
I thought I had used the flattest ones they had, but I don't do that anymore. So
Yeah, there you go. Warning, warning.
This is John. When I travel, I always take bump dots with me
Yeah,
because I never know when I might need one or more for different things. And a few months ago, I was staying at a hotel in Tucson, Arizona, and this was an older hotel. I was attending a radio conference actually, and this was an older hotel, and the hotel room numbers were not brailled. They did have them in large print, but the large print was like under a piece of plexiglass, and they weren't you couldn't touch them. And what I did is I actually put a bump dot right above the knob on my door.
oh, that's perfect, John.
So that when I walk down the hallway, I wouldn't be putting my key in somebody else's door.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea. Great idea.
That's a great
And
idea.
the one thing I will say is that when I went to check out of the hotel, I thought I would be nice to them and just remove the bump dot. And whatever the adhesive was on that bump dot, it really stuck to the wooden door. I mean, I had a heck of a time getting it off.
Donna, do you have any things you use it for we haven't mentioned?
No, everyone's covered everything I use it for. That's great. And a lot of extras.
How about you, Patty?
Debbie, I was going to just say one other thing. It's just kind of funny, but when we try to clean these surfaces on our stoves or whatever, where what we're cooking can splash up.
Yeah.
It's so tricky to clean around those bump dots, and not rub them off or knock them off. And that's the only thing I would say is, I mean, actually, Debbie and I share a house cleaner, and she doesn't wipe there. I've terrified her so much. I can tell by the kind of sticky stuff that's around the bump dot which one it is. It's perfect.
Our microwave is located over our stovetop,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many of you have a similar arrangement, but then you go to your microwave only to find out that a bump dot is missing. And you hope that it didn't fall into something that you were cooking on, on the stovetop.
Exactly. If you get something chewy and rubbery, you might want to.
And that's why I have a talking microwave.
Yes, indeed. Someday.
Mm.
Okay, anybody else? No? We're gonna have some acts that we're gonna talk about, but I think I kind of want to leave that a little bit. Oh, I just touched this one. I have one closet thing because Elizabeth asked if I could talk about a thing for organizing closets, and I don't know where I heard this from, but what they are is, you know, when you go to the store and you're going around the rack and looking at things at the grocery store. I guess I don't have a loose money.
The
how
size
they
rings.
tell
Hello,
you the
Amy.
sizes. What's that?
The size rings.
Yeah, and so what I did very, very cheap on Amazon is I got these size rings and I put them in my closet to where the first, before I get to the first one, before that is short sleeve. And then after that one is medium, 3/4 length, and then I put another one for long sleeve, another one for pants, another one for skirts, and another one for dresses. And they're plain, so if you wanted to, you could either braille it if you use braille, or you could write with some, you know, large, whatever you can write with to see. But they have been extremely helpful for me, and I'm able to feel on top of where the bar is and just get right to where I have in mind of what I wanna, what length and what time. Is it a hot day or a cold day? That's what I'm talking about, so.
Okay, thank you, because I used to put braille on the tags, but a lot of the clothes I have now, there's no tags anymore.
Yeah.
Bevy, I do this same thing with those, but I separate by colors. And then I have kind of on wider plastic hangers as I hang my pants, and then on more narrow metal hangers that kind of have that rubber coating, I hang my tops and blouses. So then I just glide across the top to jump from color to find whatever color I want, and they're in a specific order.
Yeah.
And they're very handy to just get dressed more quickly. It
Yeah.
takes a little longer to put your clothes away though.
Yeah.
But it's great for when you just have to jump out of bed and throw something on. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's good. Anyone
This
else?
this probably isn't, while we're talking about clothes, this probably isn't as applicable to women as it may be for guys. But when I went away to college some 45 years ago, one of the concerns that my mother had was she didn't want me to accidentally be mismatched and go out, you know, not looking well, as far as my choice of shirt and pants went and that sort of thing. And what she did to deal with that is she basically got me a wardrobe, if you will, of clothes that basically, except for just a couple of exceptions. For example, I had one suit that I kept separate from everything else, but my daily school clothes were such that she color coordinated things so that each pair of pants that I had went with every shirt that I had.
Yeah.
And that way, because you know she thought, well, I can help him organize his closet, but he's going to be doing his own laundry and everything, and I don't want him to accidentally get things mixed up. So that was her solution to try to make sure that you know that whatever outfit I put on would look reasonably okay. And I have just kind of continued that into my adult life. And when I go shopping with friends, I try to make sure that that all of my shirts go just fine with all of my pants. And if I have any exceptions, I keep those in a separate place in my closet.
Mhm. Hmm.
Other ideas for closets?
Yay, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom, yeah.
This is Bob. This is more, I guess, for a dresser than in the closet, but I use those sock locks.
Oh, I
all-
was just gonna talk about that,
Okay,
Bob.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I got one right here that I can, well, you can't see it, but you know what they are, Donna? I don't. Okay, I'm gonna take
Um,
one off so Donna can feel it. Okay,
So,
go ahead,
so it's
Bob.
so it's a plastic, small little plastic holder that you put your socks into. So you push one sock into one side of the clip, let's call it, and then the matching sock in the other side. And I keep those clipped together. So like I take them out of my drawer and they're clipped together. So I know that's the matching pair. I wear those. Well, I take that clip off and I set the clip on top of the dresser. I wear those socks when I come home. I take those socks off, put them back in that clip, throw them in the laundry basket. They then go from the laundry basket clipped into the washing machine. They stay clipped. In the washer, they go into the dryer. They stay clipped. And coming out of the dryer, they're clipped and go right back into my drawer. So they never ever get separated. And it's just a real simple way to keep socks
I have
matched up.
two things I do, and one of the things is I've tried the two ones, and the socks seem to slip out of the thing for me. So I have both of them, both socks stuck in one, but the only thing, it works, but the only thing that I don't like about it is it takes longer for where the ring is, the plastic ring. It takes longer, a little bit longer for that part to dry completely. And so the other thing that I do now that works better for me is I take a safety pin
Yeah.
and pin the toes together. And
Okay,
then,
this is,
huh?
go ahead. This is Perla, but go ahead.
Yeah, and then that way I do the same thing, whatever I'm using, whether it be this little plastic thing or a safety pin. And I just put it on top of my dresser, and the same thing when I come home, what Bob said. I used to, but I kind of fell by the wayside of it, is I used to braille mark what color my socks are. But now I'm using other color detector ways. Or if the pants are long enough, I don't worry about it.
This is Perla. I was going to say I use safety pins and for my socks the same way. But what I started to do is I put my black socks I pin at the heel, and my white socks I pin at the toes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I can keep those apart. Now, colored socks, I kind of do like on the top or in the middle, but then, I have to check those out. But yeah, pins are really easy.
That's a great idea. I'm gonna do that one.
Okay, good.
Now-
Glad I could help.
Yeah.
Now I'm a boring guy, and so 99.99999% of my socks are gray. And
Yeah, well,
I don't have to worry about the colors.
You're a guy.
You could say that was smart, Bob. I don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds easy.
I just touched one thing I brought that is, I'm gonna switch back for just a second to Buck Dots. And that's my checkbook. I have a couple of different kinds of checkbooks, different banks. And so I have Braille on one of them, but then I have a bump dot on this one that tells me, oh yeah, that's the one I want today. This one pays the housekeeper.
Oh.
Okay, so that was just a quickie. Anybody else got anything about matching socks? How do you do yours, John?
I I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. I actually have two different two different colors of socks, and I can't tell you exactly what the colors are right now, but the socks are different enough by feel that I don't have to label them in any way. I can tell, you know, which ones go together. So that works out really well.
Yeah, and I know some of mine like that too. How about you, Patty? Yeah. Okay, maybe she stepped away.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't get unmuted. You know how it goes.
yep.
And we were, you know, the only thing I have to add is just the sock thing. Those are so darn handy, and Bob put me onto those because what I was doing with safety pins, and I'm glad it works for you, Diane, but I was always getting poles in in the heel, or poles in the top, like fraying. And so those little socky things are dynamite. And then I know when I take them off, if they're the black socks, I know they're together. And I can tell my socks apart by texture. So I think feel that for me is almost as important as all of these things we're describing, because the feeling of the fabrics in the closet, etc., I can tell immediately, actually this morning, what the heck is this? And it was just, it was some old corduroys that were really soft. But anyway, I appreciate all this information. It's if I ever have the energy again to organize, I could use a lot of this.
Well, your Voices for Vista is over with now, so maybe you'll have a little time.
Yeah, it could be time.
Hi, group. This is Sophia. We just got a comment in the chat, so I just wanted to read it out if that's okay.
Sure.
Elizabeth said, Bob, could you please send me where we could get the things for the socks? I have lots of holes using the safety pins. Same issue. So afterwards, Bob, maybe you could follow up with the group, sending out some information, some links or something like that. Sounds like there's a desire for that. So thank you, Elizabeth, for your question.
Yes,
Okay,
I'll pass that out. It'll be an Amazon link.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can get them on Amazon now, because you can also get most of this stuff on the blind aids, any kind of blind site too. Any kind of like Maxi Aids or Braille Superstore or whatever.
Yeah, Maxie, it's a little expensive.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Amazon has
Amazon
them.
might be cheaper and quicker. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Amazon, I'm going to mention this one. I threw it in at the last minute, and I actually use this for traveling. I think I got it on Amazon. It's called let's see, oh gosh, Sacagawea. What Lewis and Clark.
Bigfoot?
No, it's Lewis.
Oh.
So it kind of looks like it has Velcro that closes it, and it kind of looks like a checkbook kind of thing, but it's made out of cloth. And when you open it up, it has this little individual things like you would in a wallet, you would have slots. Yeah, little slots, like in a wallet, you would have credit cards. But what they are is they are that one's bigger, but it doesn't matter. Here's a littler one. So and this is too, if you have any supplements or any kind of pills that you have to take during the day, these are awesome. And they have the thing that you slide the top and it loosens it up, and then you can open it up. And then what I'll do for when I'm traveling is I'll put like all my day pills, all my day supplements or opposites, all my evening supplements in one of these things. And then I don't have to carry a bunch of little bottles with me. And so then you can just keep them, it's just, they're just really handy. And you can take the thing with you, the whole thing, it's very easy to pack and lightweight and stuff, but, or you could just take the individual ones. But anyways, I thought that was what might be useful for some people. So,
And what is that called again?
on Amazon, it's probably under traveling, but it's Lewis and Clark is the brand name.
Okay.
And they have a lot of different, traveling things. That brand does.
This is John. I got a quick phone call and I apologize because I may have missed something, but while we're talking about medications, pills and so forth, does anybody use the talking product that is available from some of the pharmacies now? I think it may be called TalkingRX.
No, I only use like 1 or 2 medications. So I just put them in an area in my medicine cabinet where I know which ones are which. But yeah, I have heard about those.
So basically what it is, for people who don't know, and I don't use it myself because I don't take very many medications, but it's a little device that you get, and you get these free of charge. And when you get medications at the pharmacy, what the pharmacist can do is they can record a label. And when I say recorded, I mean the label actually it has audio recorded on it. And they can tell you the name of the medication, how often you're supposed to take it, and any other information that your doctor would like you to know. And then when you're at home, you basically take your pill bottles and you put them on this little device, which is a little reader, if you will, and it will actually speak the label that the pharmacist recorded. And so it's a real easy way of keeping medication straight when you have multiple bottles that feel the same.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of it before.
yeah.
John, what's the reader about? I don't understand that.
So the reader is basically just it's a little device that sits on your counter, like on your countertop in your bathroom. And it's tiny. I mean, it's about the size of maybe the base for an electric toothbrush. I mean, it's really small. And what you do is you take your medication bottle and just set it on this, and it will speak the label that was recorded by the pharmacist. So it'll tell you, what the medication is, how often you're supposed to take it, and that sort of thing.
And do you have to buy that from the pharmacy, or how does
No,
that
they're free. They're free.
Oh, okay, because I requested that from CVS for my future medications.
Yes.
But they do have it there.
Yeah, and they're
Oh,
better
okay.
than Walgreens. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This is Bob. So I do have the CVS one, and it works just from your phone. So you download the CVS app onto your phone, and their particular feature, and I've complained to them, it's a little bit difficult to find once you're on their app itself, because you get the ads of the week and all those other things. But you finally toggle your way through, or tab your way through, and you get to, it's called Spoken RX. Is the name for CVS. And as John said, the pharmacist just puts a little, it's an RFID tag that goes on the bottom of your prescriptions. And then you use your phone and you open up the app, and then you just tap the bottle where the tab is, or the little sticker that the pharmacist put on there. You just tap that with your phone, and it will read you it'll first start out just reading you the prescription label, and then you can click on more information. Sometimes you get drugs and they've got basically like a pamphlet stapled to it, with all the it'll tell you that anything that it knows about the prescription that a sighted person would have access to, it's right there on your phone, and it just reads you all of that information. And in the beginning, like I said, it'll read your actual label, it's your name, prescription number, when it was filled, how many pills, the whole thing. And they're free at CVS. You don't have a separate device. Some pharmacies do use the type of thing that John was talking about, where you get this separate little device that sits on your counter that you put the prescription in. But with CVS, it's just their app on your phone, and it's called SpokenRx. Works great.
Thank you.
Sometimes they forget to put them on, and I will wait and have them redo the label for me so that I have the little sticker on there.
Yes, and I asked them for easy open bottles because I just switched to CVS, and they've been giving me these terrible caps that I had to break into with the pliers.
Oh. Oh.
So along with the medications, I did pop this one in the bag that I have, and I've had it for a really long time. And I think all of you probably know about the 7-day pill holder. Right.
Mhm.
So this one that I have is for the whole month. And each container, each month, each thing, it has 4 little things in it. So I go through just once a month and put what I want to take in the morning in these little things, and I go through the whole month, so I don't have to do it every week or whatever. And the way that it doesn't have anything, and I got this on one of the blind sites, and it doesn't have anything on the top to mark it, but what I do is I braille mark it. Like I put a 1 on the, for the first one, and then a 5, and then a 9, and blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to bring that because I personally like the idea of being able to do it for the whole month instead of having to do it every week. Because I don't like doing it. Okay. Moving right along. I have this one thing, I only brought one thing that goes on a desk. And I got this when I was at OCB back in '92. And it comes from like a office store, like Office Max or something like that. And it has a lid on top that pops off, but inside it's all magnetic. And so this one has all paper clips in it. And then I don't know what, I have 2 of them. The other one had all my safety pins in it. Now I have my safety pins in a basket, but they're really nice because they're all magnet inside and they're easy, just to stick your finger in there and get them out. And so it keeps them all together. And how big do you think this is, Sophia?
I'd say it's about maybe 4 or 5 inches tall and about 2 inches wide in like a rectangular sort of cube shape.
Yeah. So not too big.
No.
And just keeps it all together in one place. Anybody else have anything to add to
Hi,
that?
this is Perla. I'm going to interrupt.
Yes.
This is Perla. Okay, I need to sign off because Harv just came home and he's going to take me to a doctor's appointment. So I'm really sorry, and I will listen to the rest of it on a recording.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
All
thanks.
right, thank you.
Bye.
This is John. If I could, I'd like to say something just real quickly. This
Please do.
isn't a labeling technique, but this is a technique for keeping things together. And when Bevy was just describing this device that's magnetic, where she can keep paper clips and safety pins together, I just want to mention a trick that I heard from someone about 10 years ago. You know how when you sometimes you receive a package like from UPS, and it's a big box, and you open that box and the box is full of those packing peanuts.
Yes.
And if you're not careful, you find them all over your house for about a week.
Yeah.
Because they get loose. Somebody suggested something that I thought was quite interesting, and what this lady said was, whenever I'm going to open a box like that, I put it in my bathtub.
That's
And she
clever.
said, just open the box in your bathtub when you know that it's going to have packing peanuts in it, and
Great idea.
and they'll all stay there, so you can just pick them up, and you won't be finding them all over your living room.
Right. It's a great idea.
Years to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, the reason I mentioned that is, Bevy, when you were talking about keeping things together,
Right.
I can just imagine, because I've had it happen where I've had
Yeah.
a big box of
Probably all have.
paper clips, and all of a sudden they're all over my tabletop and everything because I accidentally, got them spread out. So, what you're describing with your magnetic device sounds really good.
Yeah, yeah, and I got it in office supply, like Max, Office Max or something. And that reminded me of one thing that I wanted. Now my dentist and Patty's dentist is both using it for us. Is I learned when I went to get my second guide dog and from another guide dog holders getting their guide dog, and that is that, let's say, let's say I'm getting a receipt back that I have to sign. I went to the dentist, I paid him, and now I have to sign the receipt. So I teach the people to that piece of paper to crease it right where the signing line is, and then unfold it. And now there's a straight line right across that you can feel really easy of where they've creased it, that you can sign. And you don't have to worry about going to look for the signing guide, or, is my finger pointed the right way, or all the different things that might have to go on so that you can get this thing signed and it's in the place that they want it. It just has worked out so well for me throughout the years that I wanted to make sure that I signed that. So now at our dentist office, they crease both ours.
I
Great
actually
idea.
send Bevy in to do all the training before I show up, and it's worked beautifully for me. I just
Thank you, Debbie. That's an awesome idea. Thanks.
Yeah, I just thought it was great. I've used it ever since.
This is Bob.
Yeah.
Another quick DIY kind of thing for keeping things together. One of the things I do out in my shop all the time is when I take, and I apologize, my dog's got a squeaky toy and I can't get it away from him. So that's going on in the background. In my shop, when I take things apart, I have ice cube trays. And so like the first set of screws I take off go in the very first left-hand compartment. Then the next thing I take apart, those screws or nuts or washers goes in the next compartment. And then that way I have them all organized. And when I go to put the thing back together again, I just reverse the process because I've got them all laid out in the ice cube tray.
That's great. Debbie, can we use that same, when people give me like a laptop or a tablet to sign my name, or is there a way to sign your name with a tablet?
Oh, with the tablet, no, because you're having them crease a piece of paper. So they wouldn't be able to crease the tablet.
And that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, and also here at the office, Sophia told me beforehand that they have the signing guides that they give for free. So if you don't have one and you want one.
So we put the
Replace it.
signing guide on the computer or the tablet?
I don't know, do you think so?
Yeah, I think you could. Sure.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Oh, there's no edge.
I think you could actually, Elizabeth, but the other thing is, generally when I have to do that, they say sign anywhere, it doesn't matter. Somehow you don't have to be on a line.
Right.
So it's not quite as unforgiving as paper.
The signing space is usually quite large on a tablet, so doesn't have to be quite as precise as it would be on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
With the signature.
Okay, because I went to my doctor recently and they handed me a tablet to sign, and it just seemed like it was pretty hard.
Seems like
Well, I always use the good old standby. Can you please put your finger where you want me to sign?
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you
and that is
go.
a good standby for sure. But then if they don't put my finger facing cause I have no vision, if they don't put my finger facing the right way, I could put my finger facing up and just go diagonal, to the
Yep.
Right.
sign. So it's a little bit more complicated when there's no vision involved, so. Yeah, otherwise.
But if they want me to
usually I
pay,
could see
they
which way my
usually make it
finger
worth
was-
my while.
What's that?
Sorry, I said, but if they want me to pay, they usually make it worth my while.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Elizabeth, one thing, I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
One
no.
thing that might work for you is, I just sometimes use my index finger, or I want to do the folded paper now, but where you could ask them to say, please set my index finger where the signature line is. And then you can just sign above your finger.
Only
have
if
no
your finger's
problem.
pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
no
because your
problem
finger is
signing on
sticking
the
out. It's like a
paper.
line, right? So they just
No,
set it
but
at
what
the
I'm
right
saying
place.
is, like, for instance, with me, if I put my finger right where the line is, that's one part of it, but what if my
No, your
finger is
whole
pointing
finger,
up?
lay the entire length of your finger, the 4 inches of your index finger as your line.
Oh,
Not like you're just
Interesting.
pointing with the tip of your finger. Your finger becomes your line. I didn't describe that very well.
yeah, huh, that's interesting.
Well, and just one note, none of the banks or credit card companies or any of that look at the signature. It doesn't matter what you put on there. So
Yeah.
it's you could just put a quick little line on there and it'll go through. It doesn't have to have your actual signature on there. They accept whatever you want to put on there.
My ex-husband used to put an X and an O on the line.
Well, I think, especially if you have a credit
You-
card on file, like I do where I get my haircut, and, she puts a smiley face. She said, can I just smiley face? I said, sure. So it's, it's one, I don't even have to touch anything because it's
That's
on
cute.
file. It's very handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ideas? I'm just kind of going through some of this stuff that I brought to show you before we get into what will be a little bit more lengthy. And that is my, what do you want to say? A labeler. And this one's a braille labeler, and I know, it wouldn't help a lot of you, but, if you did learn braille and you wanted to braille something, it's really awesome because you just peel off the back of it and it sticks on anything that you want, so you can braille your spices or your your meds or whatever you could possibly. I used to braille all my CDs, but now we don't have CDs anymore. And what's nice about it is if you want some help, it also has the visual thing for it too, for A and B and C and so on and so forth. So
Yeah,
and
that's right. So sighted people can create braille labels for us,
right, exactly.
which is really nice. And speaking of CDs, I have a collection of about 250 CDs. Each one is braille labeled, and I also have them stored in alphabetical order. So if I want to find Elton John, for example, I can get right to it. It's they're alphabetized just like you would find in a music store.
Yeah.
And I find myself that I use our braille labeler for all kinds of things. I've got braille labels on our microwave oven, flat panel. I have braille labels on other pieces of electronic equipment that I have. And for those of us who do know braille, having this type of labeler can really be a lifesaver.
Really can, and make things so much easier. And if you want to come to game day, we could play cards.
And A real quick promotional here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Braille, next Friday on
Oh, yeah, here we go.
on Tech It Out, so April 3rd at 10 a.m. on our Tech It Out, we're having a product called Braille Teach, and it's a electronic handheld device that helps you learn Braille quickly. So if anybody's interested in learning Braille, you might want to check us out next Friday on Tech It Out.
Diane and Pat, would you remind me to tell Perla about that for next Friday, because she is interested in learning Braille.
You know, these folks were at Voices for Vista last night. Rashid, I think his name is Bob, and they were circulating around amongst the crowd, and it could very well be that Perla felt it last night.
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Maybe I have a question. Oh, sorry, Pat, go ahead.
I'm done. Good, I'm done.
Oh, I was wondering about the Braille labeler. What is the material it's labeling on? Is it a thick paper that's is a sticky paper, or is it like
it's
plastic or
like Teflon maybe, or
It's a roll of Dymo tape.
Oh, it's Dymo tape. Okay, like plastic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's real cheap to get the Dymo tape too.
And the thing that's really nice is that when you finish creating your label, you put the dial in a particular position and you squeeze the labeler. And what it does is it cuts the tape for you so that you can pull your label out.
Yeah.
And it also cuts a little notch or tab at the end of it so that it's easy to peel the backing off so that you can stick the label on whatever it is that where you want to put it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. I think with everything that we have, you know, from apps to all the other stuff that we've talked about today, the Braille is definitely the basic. It's definitely the foundation of what can make our lives easier and permanent, you know.
Mhm.
But the other stuff,
Once you learn it.
what's that?
Yeah.
Once you learn it.
Once you learn it, exactly.
Well, and let me
So-
just mention one little tip that some people don't realize, and that is that the Braille numbers 1 through 0 are
Right.
actually A through J, the letters, with a number sign in front of them. And so if you know A through J, you now know numbers 1 through 0. And where this is really handy is if you're in a building and you step into an elevator, most of the button panels these days are labeled in Braille, and so you can push the correct button to get you to the floor you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also play cards.
Yes.
All you need is 1 through J. Or A through J.
You're not going to give up on us, are you, Bevy?
I keep trying, but nobody takes the bait. I even made them cards to take home at A through J.
This is Holly, and I have a question, Bevy. You may have a section coming up to address this, but the labeling in my freezer is one of my most challenging areas. Are you going to do a separate section on that?
No,
or
but do you have some ideas? I mean, I can come up with some, but
I would
absolutely.
love to hear your ideas. Absolutely. I take a lot of pictures of things, and sometimes it tells me what it is, and sometimes it doesn't. I know we're going to get into technology, into
Yes, we are.
the wonderful
We're headed
apps
that
we
way.
have.
Right.
Yes, I know that's coming up to look forward to. But I just was wondering what thoughts we have on because I have mystery food in the freezer very often.
Yeah, I do, actually, I do too. And I do have some thoughts on that. So we're gonna start that move right now.
Thank
And,
you.
we're gonna start with Donna, and she's gonna demonstrate the PENFriend because she has very happily learned it and marked a lot of things in her kitchen and so on. So you're on, Donna.
Okay.
Live mode.
All right, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the PENFriend. It is actually shaped like a very large pen. It has a blunt side and a tip on the end like a pen would have. And it has an attachment on the top. I have mine attached to a lanyard, which comes with the PENFriend when you order it. So that way I keep it around my neck and I don't lose it, because I've done that before. And I use it for a lot of different things. Holly, I haven't tried it in the freezer, but that gave me a really good idea, you asking that question. I would think it should work with labeling things in the freezer, but I'm gonna have to try that to confirm that that would be the case.
Thank you.
And it has 4 buttons on it. On the front side of it, it's black with yellow buttons.
Bumblebee.
Yes, it's like a bumblebee. And the very top button is larger than the bottom 3 buttons. The top button is by itself towards the top of the pen. Then there's 3 smaller buttons below it with about maybe a ½ an inch or so between them. The top button is the one that turns on the power for the PENFriend. And hopefully you'll be able to hear it. It makes a certain sound when you turn it on. So I'm going to turn it on first and wait a minute, and then I'm going to turn it off because it makes a different sound when the power is off. I've never tried it with it resting for a while. It says in the instructions that if you don't use it for a while, it will automatically turn off after, I think, 5 minutes. But I'm hoping you'll hear this sound. It's just like a little loud, solid beep.
Did you guys hear it?
No,
Yeah, it's not very loud. I just realized that in this room, it's not very loud, but it goes boop, like that. But it makes a louder sound. Maybe you'll be able to hear when you turn it off. And I like it that it makes a much different sound when you turn it off. Makes a higher
Yeah.
pitch. Bling. Yeah. So it also has a little red light that's on when it's on, but I can't see that. I know most of us can't see that part. So I'm going to turn it back on.
oh, heard it.
You heard
Yeah.
it? All right. Okay. And what I have with me, what comes with the PENFriend when you get it, it actually comes installed with batteries. It takes 2 AAA batteries, which I love because so many of the devices take those little pill kind of shaped batteries, which are hard to find. And they've lasted, the batteries that are in it have lasted me a couple of years, so they last a long time. And what comes with it is the lanyard, which I have attached to the top of it, and over 100 labels. There's 1 page of labels that are yellow and orange labels. They're like a little plastic kind of a label. They're on a sheet of paper. They're easy to peel off. You can feel them, actually feel them like with the braille. And there's over 100 of those to label. And then there's also another page that has square labels, which are probably about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Then there's 3 little magnetic metal discs, which probably, I guess, maybe 1.5 inches or so, maybe 2 inches, probably more like 2 inches. They're magnetic metal discs, and they're made specifically to put on your cans of vegetables and things that come from the grocery store. And the neat thing about this that I love, the instructions said the labels are a little pricey. They're not horrible. But the neat thing is, if you make a mistake or you want to use them again, you can record over them. And I love recording. I got my first tape recorder when I was 8 years old. It was one of the old reel-to-reel kind that you had to thread the tape in the reel, and if it got to the end, it would spin. So my whole life, I have loved recording. I've used every kind of recording device there's ever been. And that's one of the reasons I fell yeah. Yes. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with the PENFriend, because it's all about recording. And I fell in love with it even more when I learned that on one of these little bitty labels, you can record up to an hour of time on this one tiny little label. I haven't done that yet, but I've thought about sending people some stories, people that I know that have PENFriends. Rather than sending a tape or something, just put it on a little label in a letter and have a talking letter. So that's
Aw.
something else.
How cool is that?
That is a good idea.
I love it.
That's so
I love
sweet.
to talk. So anyway, I have pre-recorded a couple of silly things on these little metal discs. But again, what I like about it is that you can re-record over and over them. So one of the suggestions that I saw on a YouTube video was the little dots, the little sticky dots is to cut out a square off of an index card and put it on that, like if it's something you're gonna use over and over. Say I have a frozen meal that I keep in the freezer that I like to have. And I could just pull the little card out and put it in when I replace that meal. So you don't have to stick them on every time. You can recycle them that way if you want to. So, and also I use them for my DVDs, like John was saying, for my CD, because I have a lot of CDs too, John, by the way. I have way too many CDs. And I like your idea of putting them alphabetical. I hadn't done that before, so I'm gonna try that with the ones I have labeled. But anyway, to record on one of the discs or one of the little dots, after you have the on and off button, the top one of the three little buttons is record. And what you do is you push that button down, and then you put the tip of the pen to what you want to record on. I think I'm going to use on the metal discs. So I'm going to push that, and then when I put it the tip to the little disc, it will make that little beeping sound. After it's done that, I can pick it up. The microphone is actually on the top of the PENFriend where the lanyard is attached. Now, I didn't learn that right away, and I wondered why I wasn't getting any volume. That's why, because I wasn't talking into the microphone. I had my hand over it. So you live and learn. Right. So anyway, I'm going to push that record button, and I'm going to touch the disc, and it'll do a little beep. And after it does that little beep, I can take the pen up and put the microphone to my mouth, record in it. And then when I'm done recording, I put that back. Actually, I push the button down. Sorry, I push the button down to stop the recording. So I'm going to do that. I'm pushing that top little button. This is a silly recording I'm going to do because I'm doing a demonstration, and I could talk forever and ever, but I won't, so I'm going to stop. Great. Okay, I hit the top little button again to stop the recording. Now, if I want to play that, all I have to do is touch the PENFriend to that disc. I don't have to push any buttons. I don't know if you can hear that or not. If you can't, that takes me to the second button down, which is the volume button. It has a volume button on it. I don't have it set really loud, so to work that volume button, that's the middle button of the bottom three. Now, I've never tried this before. I'm realizing I should have pre-tested this, so we'll see if it works. To push this, to turn the volume up or down, you push that button that says quickly, and just do a rapid pushing until you get to the volume you want. So I'm going to try that. Let's see if the volume went up. It must be volume down. Yeah. Okay, I'm a bit baffled here. I didn't test this, so I'm going to try to keep pushing and see if that will do the volume up. I may have to do some research on that.
Can hear that.
Yeah. There we go. I like the laugh at the end of that. So I have just learned that whichever direction it's going, if I keep pushing, it'll go all the way to the lowest, and then if I keep pushing, it'll come back up again. So I'll have to test a little bit more, but at least we got that figured out. So it is really easy, like I said, with the record button, you just push it down, and then you put it to the whatever you're going to record on. It does a beep. Then you can pick it up, put the microphone towards your mouth, and record as long as you want to. It says up to an hour. And then just push the button and it'll beep again, and that means the recording's done. And then when you want to play it, you just put the tip of the pen to whatever you're trying to identify. And it's always a good idea, like with the CDs, of course, I learned the hard way that I needed to put it in a certain spot on all of them, or I'm searching for it. So I pick either the upper left or the upper right corner, something like that. And the very bottom button I have not tried. It boggles me. I'd have to talk to someone like Bob or John or someone that understands technology. It says that that turns this little wonderful device that I'm in love with, turns it into an MP3 player. Now, I've never used an MP3. I'll have to talk with someone to learn what that is. And you can go and you can connect it to some other device and play MP3s. You can play your CDs through it if you want to. I'm not thinking that I necessarily would want to try that, because the quality of the speaker to me doesn't seem like it's something I want to listen to music on. But I guess if I was desperate and I was out somewhere, I wouldn't complain about it. But that's pretty much what I've got to share. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah, what kinds of things do you marked in your house besides CDs?
I've done CDs, DVDs. I've done, my favorite thing in the kitchen, of course, is spice bottles. I found a wonderful spice rack on a rotating spice rack on Amazon, one of our favorite places. And it holds, I think, 30 spice bottles. So I put these little bitty paper dots on the top of the spice bottles, and when I rotate it, it's really easy to find out what my spices are. I had actually quit cooking after I lost so much vision that I couldn't do that anymore. It was too difficult. And now I can have as many spices as I want. I use it on clothing. Another thing, it says you can order labels for laundry if you want to. Cloth labels that you can put in your clothes. I haven't tried that part of it. I've also done books. I don't have so many books anymore, but I have certain books that I love enough to label them, and I'm still able at this point to use my CCTV if I want to see pictures. I'm also going to be using it to label my family pictures. I have way too many family pictures. I've got my own, I've got my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, and I have family members that I want to pass a lot of those pictures along to. So my next project is going to be to tackle the boxes of photos I have. And this way I can actually put this label on the back of those photos with the help of my CCTV or someone else that's visiting me that can look at them. And then I want to scan them and make photo books out of them. So once I have those pictures labeled, I'll know how to organize them to do the photo books. And that's something I'm looking forward to, because pictures is something I can no longer enjoy, but I definitely want to share them with people that would enjoy them. And let's see, what else? Plant, of course, things in the kitchen. Things in the freezer I have not tried. Now that Holly brought that question up, I'm really anxious to try that, because that is something that baffles me, like you, Holly, when I'm trying to pull stuff out of the freezer, especially if it avalanches. I have no idea where I put the meat or the vegetables or whatever. So I'm going to try that out. I'm going to put the dots on a little index card and label what's in the freezer. And that way, because a lot of the things I put in Ziploc bags, I can pull out the index card and just move the dot over, because there's certain products that I buy over and over that I can just use that label again. So I think that's pretty much it for what I can think of right now, but there's no limit to what we could use them for. I was even thinking I could use them on my stove or my microwave for, like we were talking about, the bump dots. I could put them there to identify temperatures and things like that. Another way to use the PENFriend.
That's brilliant, Donna. So many great ideas. Thank you. This is Holly.
You're welcome, Holly.
Wonderful thoughts. You know, when I went to a Vista Low Vision Expo in Santa Cruz years back, I think that was a real turning point for me in terms of knowing I needed help as my vision deteriorated, and knowing that there was help there, and Vista opened that door, and the PENFriend was demonstrated, and I fell in total love. It was, I was jumping up and down with joy, and no looking back. And I love some of the ideas you shared. I just never even thought about it. One thing I did do, I have spices in a drawer, and I have them alphabetical, and they are laying horizontally. And I was having difficulty finding the PENFriend little plastic, very flat labels on the spice bottle, even though I put them in the same rough place. And so I took a little puff paint, I think that's what it's called, just a little dot to the left of it, so I could tactily feel, like with my left hand, that little dot, that little puff paint, and then use my PENFriend. And that's worked really well.
Yeah.
And I had fun recording. Yeah, it was fun. I got kind of silly, and I kind of sang little songs like, like cumin, great for fajitas, just to, just to kind of spice things up. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. I'm going to pass the baton now, but thank you for all these great ideas.
You're welcome, Holly, and I love your idea of having more fun with it. I'll have to try that too.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
I have a question. Are there more than one model of this PENFriend, or?
Yes, there is. I actually have two of them. I got my first one maybe 10 years ago. The one that I'm using today is the PENFriend 2. I got that about 2 years ago. And when I was looking on YouTube for some extra ideas, I see that they now have a PENFriend 3. And I have no idea what that one does. I have to check it out.
Okay.
No, I do know, we have like demos here in the office of the original PENFriend and the PENFriend 2 that Donna's been talking about. We don't sell these anymore through Vista Center, but I was looking on Maxi Aids this morning, and they, I believe, only sell the PENFriend 3, the new model. So I don't know a whole lot about the PENFriend 3 yet, but I'm gonna see maybe if we can somehow get some sort of demo for that, or something to have in the office here. But
Yeah,
I was sorry. It's a Patrice. I got one of these when I first started getting things that would help me, but it was called Touch Memo. It works exactly the same way. But I was always kind of jealous because PENFriend is such a good name. And they had various kinds of labels. Some were plastic and had a little hole in at the top where you could put a rubber band, or you could, to reuse it. So it's very much the same thing. But they're handy. I mean, yeah, I used to use these much more than I do now, because I just, hello, seeing AI, or,
We're gonna get to that.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna shut up because of that, but I just wanted to say that.
Diane, go ahead.
Go ahead, Diane. Please go ahead, and I'll go next.
A few more quick things. So I just recently got the PENFriend 3, although I haven't opened it yet. It was a gift from the Department of Rehab, and I'm just working with JAWS right now, so I can't take on both. But my plans are to use it for my files, just for the tabs, so I can find specific documents. And then also for a family book of recipes that I have, which are things that you wouldn't find on, the Paprika app or other apps online. And another thing that you can record are instructions if you need sometimes there's a device that you might only use once a year, or you need to know how to fix something. You can record those kinds of informational pieces, like a section from an instruction manual, say, for instance, and that can be really handy.
Holly?
Yes, thank you, Donna. Question. I have a PENFriend 1, And we got a PenFriend 2 sometime back on a great deal on eBay or something, and I have not started using it. Do you happen to know whether I can use PenFriend 2 on labels I created with my PenFriend 1? Are they interchangeable, or is it a whole nother system?
That's a good question, Holly. I wish I could answer that. I haven't tried that, so I'm not
Mm.
sure about that. I would hope that we could, but I don't know that.
Mm-hmm. One reason we bought it was because it came with a bazillion labels and it was an amazing price. So I just, yeah, we'll check into that at some point. Thank you.
Welcome.
So, unless there's any, more questions for Donna? Going once, going twice.
Thank you, Donna.
Yes,
Okay.
great job.
So, I'm just gonna show you this color detector really quick, just so if anybody doesn't know what a color detector is, then we're moving directly into Bob. I think we're gonna do way around first. And so this is, okay, okay. I've got it on the loudest, so you don't. Okay. So that, all I did was take the lid off, shove it to the fastest, the loudest, and then put it on my shirt and then put it on my pants. I would not recommend this brand, but I would recommend the brand I've never even tried, but Patrice Patty loves it. And it's the, it just, color, what is it, Patty? Color.
It's called Colorino. It's a little
Colorino.
pricey. I forget how much, but again, I got it from the Department of Rehabilitation. It also has a light detector, which means if you push down the button for the light detector and you're looking for the windows, it goes like that. You think, okay, I'm there. But the color identifier is the only one I've ever found that is accurate. But if you have on your phone, Sing AI, with Be My Eyes, it more than tells you the color. It tells you the texture. It tells you all kinds of things. But it's
Exactly.
accurate in color. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know that there's something other than a phone app that they.
Yeah, I use Colorino. It's sitting on my shelf in the bathroom. I'm always using that thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna move to the computer. The phone apps, and I wanna start us out with Way Around. And if somebody doesn't know what that is, it's a free app. It's a fairly new on the market. What do you think, Bob? Maybe 2 years?
2019.
Okay, a little more than 2 years. And so the app is free, but then when you order the stickers, kind of like what Donna was talking about, and there's flat ones, like I have one on the top of this supplement right here, I'll show you. I have one that ties that's wrapped around or it just goes into like a bread thing that you close it with, around a charging cord, so that it tells me what charging cord that is. The new
That's a
one
great
out
idea.
that somebody was just asking about the other day was oh gosh, plants, your garden outside and stuff. And so you can put one of these stickers on your plants outside. And anything. It's amazing. And Bob will tell you what he does with his clothes with it and stuff, but I'm gonna turn on this app.
Yeah. Wait around. Previous ad description. Double tap to go back to previously scanned.
Can you hear that okay or no?
Yes, can hear it.
Swipe right to hear additional.
Okay, so I have this one tag on top of this one supplement that I'll do first.
Wait are connected. Settings. Purple shirt. Heading. Scanner ready, press the red button below. Then hold this part of your phone to red. Description. Scanner ready, press the red button red. Description. Scanner ready, press red. Description. Ready to scan.
No,
And close button. Skip item, take one after meals.
Okay, so that's what it says. So,
Settings. This item, take one after meals. Heading.
so that's what the top of this one says. Bob, will you go ahead and describe them of the
Sure.
different things they do?
Sure. So the way around app and its labels are very similar to the PENFriend. I was now I'm not putting down the PENFriend at all. I think it's great, and with the PENFriend you're able to actually record your voice. With the way around, when you record a tag, it comes back as an electronic voice, a nice voice, but it's not your voice. But it was in 2019, and that's when I got my first iPhone, and I was getting ready to buy the PENFriend. Today, I just looked it up. The PENFriend costs $189. And I thought back then, I think it was like 150. It's like, geez, I could take that $150 and put it towards an iPhone and just buy an iPhone. So I decided, rather than having all these separate devices, the PENFriend, the Color Reno, I just decided I was going to go with the iPhone, and I think it's the best decision I've ever made. And so I use the free apps. The labels cost just about the same as the labels for the PENFriend, and they're very similar. You have the magnetic ones that you can put on cans, as Bevy was saying, and so was Donna. They have this particular button style that you can wrap a rubber band through, or the twist tie, like Bevy was saying, and putting that on power cords. I think that's an excellent idea. I'm going to do that. But they also have these large plastic paper clips, so you can put those on your file folders. And again, it's the same thing. You switch the app on, like you switch the PENFriend on. You go record, and you tap it to the sticker. You record your message. You can what it's initially going to do is it's going to come up with a text field. Like you could then the keyboard would come up, and you could type in whatever text you wanted, or I just choose to hit the microphone on the keyboard and record whatever it is that I want the tag to say. And I use those on several things, although I'm going to say here in a minute, I'm actually moving away from those now because technology is changing. But I have the buttons sewn in several of my clothes and my shirts where I can't tell the color of the shirt anymore, whether it's a navy blue or a maroon or a black shirt. So I just have the button sewn in the tail, or if you want to call it the hem, like of the shirt. And again, just like the PENFriend, you switch on the app and you tap it to the button, and it will read back whatever it was you recorded. And so you can record, just the color. That's what I have on most things, because that's all I want to know. I know what my shirts are. I don't need it to tell me that it's a, button down shirt and has this many buttons or that sort of thing. So, or you can even record, the washing instructions if you wanted to put the laundry instructions on the tag. So I have those sewn into my shirts. I have 3 different colors of belts that I have. I have a black belt, not martial arts belts, but clothing belts. I wish I had a black belt, but so I have the stickers applied to the back of my belts. And so again, I just touch the phone to the sticker, and it'll tell me, brown or blue or black. So that comes in really handy. Out in my shop, I have several of those multi-drawer little cabinets that have all the screws and the nuts and bolts and that sort of thing. Well, I'm anal, and I keep all that stuff, all in order, all by size, all by color, and they're all lined up in neat little rows. But I have the stickers on the front of the drawers, and so I can just tap my phone to the sticker, and again, it'll tell me, 3/16 bolts or again, I apologize for my darn dog here, but the stickers are great because you can put them on anything and they work really well. I have the magnetic ones, and I put the magnetic ones on my saw blades so that I can tell the difference between the different types of saw blades that I have. And I also have used the stickers in the past. I put them on my medicine bottles so that I would know what they were. But like I said, now I've switched and I use the Spoken RX from CVS. Now, one other thing I was going to say is kind of like moving away from this technology. As technology keeps advancing, I have gone to just using the Be My AI. It's just slightly slower than starting up the app and tapping it to the tag and listening to it that way, because when you use the Be My AI app and you take the photo, it takes it a few moments for it to actually identify the object and then come back and tell you what that object is. But for my clothing, I use the Be My AI app now, and it'll tell you the colors. Let's see, I just swiped it across my shirt. Let me see if I can. Where did I just set that down? Hold on a second. Okay, so I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can hear this. I got this turned. Can you hear my phone?
Yeah.
Picture shows the collar area of a striped shirt hanging on a hanger. Period. There are two labels visible on the shirt. Period. The top label reads quotation mark no iron original Oxford comma quotation mark, and the label below it is from quotation mark lands apostrophe end quotation mark and indicates the shirt size as quotation mark 16-33 period quotation mark. The shirt appears to have a pattern of thin red and white stripes. Period.
So I didn't have to record anything. That particular shirt does have a button sewn in it that does tell me that it's red and white, because I have red and white and I have blue and white. And it was interesting that time that it read it, I was surprised that it put the quotations in there, because normally it doesn't do that. It'll just tell you the description without the quotations in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Be My AI app is free. And right there on that same screen at the bottom, it says connect to a live person. So if I needed additional help, I could have tapped on that and got a live person and asked them any questions about, again, they're using the camera on my phone, and whatever I'm pointing that at, they're able to look at that and tell me. The other thing you can do is you can also go into the help portion of that photo and again, just ask, can you give me more details about the stripes? Or like I took a picture out my shop one time and it described my table saw perfectly, but then I said, can you tell me more information about that safety device? And it went into this whole separate description on the safety device it just blew me away how accurate it was. But anyways, the Way Around app is an excellent app. It works just like the PENFriend. You get basically the same labels, and the labels are the same price. And the difference, I think, would be the PENFriend is handy because you could just keep it like hanging in your closet or in your kitchen. You don't have to have your phone. But they both work the same. I think they're both great technologies, and would recommend people embrace this wonderful technology that we have. That's the reason they keep designing this and coming out with all this technology, is to help us. And I think us buying it and using it just helps keep that whole thing advancing and moving towards helping us. And I know a lot of this stuff is super expensive, but hopefully it's all coming down in price as time goes on. But anyways, that's how I use the Way Around app.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you
Thanks.
for bringing in the Be My Eyes too, because I wanted that to be talked about. I just want to give heads up that we have about a little less than 45 minutes left. For our talk, and unless you have any questions, I wanted John to be able to share some of the apps that he uses for labeling things too. But did anybody have any questions for John? I mean, for Bob?
I think John might have dropped off.
Oh, he did?
I don't see him there anymore,
Oh.
so he might have found to.
Oh, okay, well, that's too bad, because we do have other, the Seeing AI, Patrice mentioned, which, you know, has the color, it reads, I read my mail when it comes in, I just put it over the top of the package or the, you know, envelope or whatever, and it tells me instantly who it's to and stuff like that, and it also has color documents, things in the room. What else, Patty?
You know, I was just thinking, all those things, and the thing I think you were referring to is short text,
Yes.
and that's really handy because it's kind of it reads what's in front of it, and you know, if you move, it'll start reading anything, you know, a magazine that happened to be next to it. You know, it's a maniac. But the thing is, but it's free, and Microsoft has put a lot into this.
Yeah.
But if I prefer Be My AI because I don't have to open it and then go to the channels and then find the channel I want and then swipe, and you know, it's so I just open Seeing AI and it says take a picture. I think sure. You know, so it is to me quicker, and I'm frustrated less by not having to. I can just get it right away. But I still say Seeing AI is an excellent app, and it keeps getting better. So it wouldn't surprise me if it would have something on its channels that, you know, would come up that Be My AI isn't doing right now. I don't know, but
Well,
they're both great.
With Be My AI, it's a tab within Be My Eyes. So the original app is Be My Eyes. Down at the bottom of the screen, they have tabs, and you can click on the Be My AI tab. Once you've clicked on the Be My AI tab, then when you return to the program, you know, later on, it'll just say take a picture, because that'll be, you know, where you left off the last time. But it's easy enough to find the first time around, just searching through the tabs on the bottom. And I should also mention, if any of you use Ira, so Ira is the paid version of Be My AI or Be My Eyes. It's the paid version of Be My Eyes. Be My Eyes, you get free volunteers. With Ira, you're paying a subscription, although you can get a free 5-minute session over and over and over again. But there they have paid professionals that, you know, have been trained to work with the visually impaired community, and they're bonded, so you could have them read your bank statements and not worry that they're stealing your information or anything. But anyways, with the Ira app, down at the bottom, they have a tab that you can click on that it's the Ira AI, and it works just like the Be My AI's app. In fact, if you go to our April newsletter, there is a short little article in there, and there's a link to a demonstration that Jeff Thompson from Blind Abilities did. And from his demonstration, I think that one actually is a little bit better. It seemed like it provided a lot more detailed information, but it's still in its development stages. And IRA is going to be raising their prices significantly come 2025. So if you already have a subscription to them, it's there at the bottom. So either Be My AI or IRA AI.
Thank you, Bob. I didn't know about, I do have a subscription for IRA and I didn't know about the AI on it. So thank you.
And just real quickly, with either of those, Donna was talking about her family photos. With either of those, you can take a picture of a photograph, or if you already have a photo saved, electronically in your phone or whatever, you can actually open that photo up with Be My AI, and it will describe the photo to you. And from my limited experience with it, and checking with my wife, I'll take and look at something with it, and it'll read it to me, and then I show it to my wife and have her listen to the description. Although she can read it, the description is all written right there on my phone, and she says it's remarkable how accurate it is. When they try to get down to some of the finer detail that it's describing, it may miss some things just a little bit, but it's technology is wonderful. We live in a fabulous time. If we have to be visually impaired, this is the time. We're very, very lucky.
Yes, we are. And following up, Bob, on the photos, I have been so thrilled. Our family does a lot of text messaging, and they include photos. And so before, all I would see here is photo image. And now I can tap on that in my phone, and I can go down to share and tap on that. And then there's a whole bunch of a long list of people and things I can share it with, including towards the end on mine is describe with Be My Eyes. And I tap on that, and it goes just a moment and sings a little song. And then it comes up with a message. And after it analyzed it, Bob, as you said, it is incredible, the detail. And then I've been having so much fun. I flick up and till I hear copy, because it's the actions menu, in your iPhone. Okay, with the rotor. Okay, I flick
the
up
vertical.
Yep, copy, double tap, close that out, the Be My Eyes, and then I open up text messages, and I send it back to the people who sent it to me. I say, guess what my Be My Eyes describer just said. and I paste it in there, and I send it to them, and it blows them away. They are so thrilled. So thrilled. One of our grandsons bought a car yesterday, and they sent us a picture. Here's a new car I bought, I'm like, okay. And I sent the description, and it was like incredible detail, including, the color of the leaves in the background of the tree, and the time, and that it was warm, and it was probably late afternoon, and it glistened in the sun. Just amazing. Incredible.
Thank you for sharing how to do that.
You're welcome. It's just, so basically, it's basically, if you have a photo, and you can do that, I believe from your, I'm guessing, I've not done it, from your photo reel that you've done yourself, or from like a text message where somebody sends you a photo. So just share it. Share, describe with Be My Eyes, tap it on it, and then off you go.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And
you're welcome.
And the other thing that's really good to use it for, I think somebody mentioned it in passing, but if you travel and you go into the hotel room, you just snap a picture, and it will tell you the entire layout of that room, where the tables are, the chairs, the bed, what color the linen is. It's just so fabulous to help you navigate through unfamiliar spaces.
So many of these.
Sorry, our last one. Go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, but I'll be very quick. So many of these things that I've learned today, one of the main things is I never thought about bringing bump dots traveling. So to me, there's a whole other way I could make travel easier for myself. And so thank you so much for this session, Bevy. It's really
Oh, I
helpful.
just thank you. I mean, I just am so pleased that you guys came and joined us, and next month, Tiffany's gonna do some sharing about mobility. And
Oh,
then, of
fun.
course, we can all tag in on how mobility, how we do things with mobility too. So, but thank you so much, and thank you, Donna, for coming in and demonstrating.